What's up, guys? Welcome to day 27. Um, I just I just did January 26th, and I'm gonna do one for yesterday and then one for today. So it may take a while for all 3 days to get downloaded. But yeah, today we'll be starting on Job chapter 30. So here it says, "But now I am mocked by people younger than I, by young men whose fathers are not worthy to run with my sheepdogs. A lot of good they are to me, those worn out wretches. They are gaunt from poverty and hunger. They claw the dry ground in desolate wastelands. They pluck wild greens from among the bushes and eat from the roots of broom trees. They are driven from human society, and people shout at them as if they were thieves. So now they live in frightening ravines, in caves, and among the rocks. They sound like animals howling among the bushes, huddled together beneath the nettles. They are nameless fools, outcasts from society. And now they mock me with vigor songs. They taunt me. They despise me and won't come near me, except to spit in my face, for God has cut my bowstring. He has humbled me, so they have thrown off all restraints. These outcasts oppose me to my face. They sent me sprawling and lay traps in my path. They block my head. They block my road and do everything they can to destroy me. They know I have no one to help. They know I have no one to help me. They come at me from all directions. They jump on me when I am down. I live in terror now. My honor has blown away in the wind, and my prosperity has vanished like a cloud, and now my life seeps away. Depression haunts my days. At night my bones are filled with pain, which gnaws at me relentlessly. With a strong hand, God grabs my shirt. He grips me by the collar of my coat. He has thrown me into the mud. I'm nothing more than dust and ashes. I cry out to you, O God, but you don't answer me. I stand before you, but you don't even look. You have become cruel towards me. You use my power to persecute me. You throw me into the whirlwind and destroy me in the storm. And I know you are sending me to my death and the destination of all who live. Surely no one would turn against the needy when they cry out for help in their trouble. Did I not weep for those in trouble? Was I not deeply grieved for the needy? So I looked for good, but evil came instead. I waited for the night, but darkness fell. My heart is troubled and restless. Days of suffering torment me. I walk in gloom without sunlight. I stand in the public square and cry for help. Instead, I am considered a brother to jackals, a companion to owls. My skin has turned dark, and my bones burn with fever. My heart plays sad music, and my flute accompanies those who weep. I made a covenant with my eyes, not to look with lust at a woman. But what has God above chosen for us? What is our inheritance from the Almighty on high? Isn't it calamity for the wicked and misfortune for those who do evil? Doesn't he see everything I do and every step I take? Have I lied to anyone or deceived anyone? Let God weigh me on the scales of justice, for he knows my integrity. If I have strayed from his pathway, or if my heart has lusted for what my eyes have seen, or if I am guilty of any other sin, then let someone else eat the crops I've planted. Let all that I have planted be uprooted. If my heart has been seduced by a woman, or if I have lusted for my neighbor's wife, then let my wife serve another man. Let other men sleep with her, for lust is a shameful sin, a crime that should be punished. It is a fire that burns all the way to hell. It would wipe out everything I own. If I have been unfair to my male or female servants when they brought their complaints to me, how could I face God? What could I say when He questioned me? For God created both me and my servants. He created us both in the womb. Have I refused to help the poor or crushed the hopes of widows? Have I been staying with my food and refused to share it with orphans? No, from childhood I have cared for orphans like a father, and all my life I have cared for widows. Whenever I saw the homeless without clothes and the needy with nothing to wear, they did not praise me for providing wool clothing to keep them warm. If I raised my hand against an orphan, knowing the judges would take my side, then let my shoulder be wrenched out of place, let my arm be torn from its socket. That would be better than facing God's judgment. For if the majesty of God opposes me, what hope is there? Have I put my trust in money or felt secure because of my gold? Have I gloated about my wealth and all that I own? Have I looked at the sun shining in the sky or the moon walking down its silver pathway and been securely enticed in my heart to throw kisses at them in worship? If so, I should be punished for the judges, for it would mean I have denied the God of heaven. Have I ever rejoiced when disaster struck my enemies, or become excited when harm came their way? No, I have never sinned by cursing anyone or by asking for revenge. My servants have never said, "He let others go hungry." I have never turned away a stranger, but have opened my doors to them. Have I tried to hide my sins like other people do, concealing my guilt in my heart? Have I feared the crowd or the contempt of the masses, so that I kept quiet and stayed inside? If only someone would listen to me. Look, I have signed my name to my defense. Let the Almighty answer me, for my accuser write out the charges against me. I would face the accusation proudly. I would wear it like a crown, for I would tell him exactly what I have done. I would tell him before I would come before him like a prince. If my land accuses me, and all its fury cries out together, or if I have stolen its crops, or murdered its owners, then let the West grow on that land instead of wheat, and weeds instead of barley. Job's words are ended. Job. What am I going to say at this point? I don't know. He drives me insane, to be honest. Yeah. To kind of start off with, we got Job chapter 30, verses 1 through 8. There is nothing humbling about him. He's a very prideful man who just knows how to throw insults at people. To be honest, he calls people not even worthy to run with his sheepdogs. It's like, I don't know how you could get any lower than that. He calls them wretches. He describes them as driven from human society. I don't know, guys. It's like, Again, this is why I doubt Job's righteousness, because of because of how he sees himself compared to other people. It's like I don't care. It's like I don't care if people have done evil to you or not, but it's like to describe them and to like lower their humanity, which is just wrong. It's like let God be the judge of them. You don't need to be the judge of them by starting off calling them names that are like that's nothing but those names are nothing but to tear people down, and that's what Job is doing. And then again, he basically blames them for his misfortunes, which is, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know how to think about that. It's like, yeah, I don't know what to think about that. He just kind of, in a sense, blamed them for his issues. I guess it's a little bit better than blaming God for his issues, but then, like I said in my previous video, I don't think me and Job are worshiping the same God, because the way he describes God is very violent. In verse 18 of chapter 30, where he says, with a strong hand, God grabs my shirt. He grips me by the collar of his coat. He has thrown me into the mud. That is not the God I worship. In fact, I feel like the God that he's describing sounds more like Satan, because Satan would do the same exact thing that he would describes God to do, as someone who I guess Satan is just strong compared to us, and so he would grab our shirts. He would be very physically violent towards us. I don't think that's who God is. I don't think God does that. And then the fact that he, in verse 20, where he says, I cry out to you, O God, but you don't answer. It's like, well, Job, no offense, but it's like, you are running your mouth the whole time. How is God supposed to talk to you if all you do throughout this whole book so far is to be running at the mouth? And I feel like that's the thing. Is like, I'm not saying like that's something I'm really frustrated with Job about, but I have to realize sometimes we do the same exact thing. I do the same exact thing. I complain to God about my issues, but But it's like, then I complain to God about how like, oh, God, you don't care about me. Apparently, you don't listen to me. It's like, why do I do those? Why do I question God if I'm not giving him the opportunity to explain? If I haven't like set aside my distractions to actually listen to God, saying like, I should listen to God, because I think God is more than willing to answer our questions. But how is he supposed to answer our questions if we just keep running at the mouth, right? And the other things like, when we don't hear God, I hope that we can realize like, have we given God the opportunity to answer the questions? And so Job, I don't think Job is worshiping the same God as me, because verses 21 to 23, he says, I stand before you, but you don't even look. You have become cruel towards me. You use your power to persecute me. You throw me into the whirlwind and destroy me in the storm. And I know you are sending me to my death, the destination of all who live. It's like, God is not cruel towards you. It's Satan who's being cruel towards you. But instead of blaming Satan, you decide to blame God, which is why our perception, whenever sometimes we go through something that's really difficult, we let our emotions drive the way we act towards God, towards one another. If we are sad or mad, we start blaming God for our emotions, even though God has nothing to do with them. And so for me, it's like, if you have any right to cry to anyone, if you're going to cry to anyone or complain to anyone, do that to Satan. and I think Satan will take pleasure in our sufferings, but I would rather complain to him and have him be satisfied with our complaints than complain to God, knowing that God has nothing to do with them and stuff. I felt like God did. This is what I kind of realized this past week. I've really been reflecting on. It's like I pray to God, asking him to fill my heart with praises and worships to him, and help me to understand that it's okay to ask God for help. It's okay to tell God of our pains, but it's not okay for us to complain to him. It's not okay to tell God that he's the reason why we are suffering, which is something I feel really bad about. It's like, because of how good God is, that I don't think we fully understand the goodness of God. Because I think the way we describe the goodness of God is a God who will never let anything bad happen to us. And if something bad happens to us, then why is he described as a good God and stuff? And just for me, it's like, the question is like, why did God create this mess in the first place? And it's like, for me, it's like I need to be able to watch my mouth, watch my spiritual life, in a sense where it's like, who am I to complain to God about these things that has nothing to do with God? And so next time when we complain, may we realize that it's okay to talk to God of our sufferings, but it's not okay to, I don't see it as an okay thing for us to complain to God, saying how God is the reason why we are suffering, God is the reason why we're mad, upset. It's like, I don't believe that's the case. In describing God as being violent, as what Job did, it's like, I don't think God is as violent as Job making him sound. But yeah, and again, I think for me, it's like, I understand people, like, the way I now think is different from Job's, because Jesus was not alive at that time. And so some of the stuff that Jesus says that I've tried to do my best to follow, that Job clearly didn't have, because Jesus was not there with him. I mean, Jesus was not like physically there with him, and so Job was not able to hear any advice from him. But yeah, as we move on to chapter 31, I don't know, it's like, again, he keeps saying that all of the good things that he has done and everything like that he feels like he should be the one to take all the credit for all the good things that he's done. It's like, for me, it's like, no offense, Job, but as much as I'm happy for you for all the good, righteous things you've done, I think you're falling short of the glory of God, because you have not given God any credits for any of the good things that you have done, which is insane for me. It's like, yeah. But the part that I do, like, drives me insane, that I don't understand why he would say something like this, is when he said in verse 9 to verse 9 and 10, where he says, if my heart has been seduced by a woman, or if I have lusted by my neighbor's wife, then let my wife serve or grind for another man. Let the other men sleep with her. That part just drives me insane, because, and I understand, like, the status of women back then is so much different than the status of women nowadays. But for him to say something like that, it just makes me feel like he doesn't see his wife as a companion that God has blessed him with. Instead, he sees his wife as a thing to him, who does basically his slave, almost, in a sense, who just does things for him. And then, so that's kind of driving me insane. And it's like, as I'm reflecting on modern time, I feel like I don't think our world has fully healed from that mentality. This world still dehumanize women, and men uses women for their own pleasures. And I just pray that, like, may we the way we treat our spouses, the way we treat our partners, then may we really honor them that in a way where like where we do see them as humans, where we do see them as a daughter of another person, that may we really see them as humans instead of things that would glorify ourselves, that satisfies ourselves. And this is the most important thing. It's like, may we be able to see them as an icon of God, they are made in the image of God. And if we claim to be a Christ follower, to love God, may we see that, may we like treat women like that, treat them with honor, and be with them when they're happy, be with them when they're sad. And then may we not be putting any sorts of restrictions on them, because again, who are we to put restrictions on anybody, to be honest? So yeah, that's how I kind of feel about day 27. So may you guys go and walk with God today.